My guests for the morning are already seated, but I have to say good morning to you. Evan Nana Osafo Himing, you are in Achimswedu this morning with your mom, Rebecca, and I wish you all the best. Good morning, and I wish you happy holidays. I know school will be reopening very soon. And now my guests for the morning. I have Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wagon constituency here in Akram, Emmanuel Chiramantinge Jakon. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. And I also have George Lowe. George Lowe is a former Member of Parliament for North Dying. George, thanks for joining me. All right. There's a story that has been captured on the front page of the Daily Graphic. It's about whether to allow or not to allow students to use mobile phones while they are in senior high school. The Ghana National Association of Teachers and its allied bodies say it is a no, no, no. Well, I say that in 10 years' time, this conversation will be a yes, yes, yes. But the educationist, Anis Hafa, says, well, we should allow them. So I just wanted to pick your thoughts. I start with you. What do you make of it? In senior high schools in Ghana, students are allowed to use mobile phones, not for just recreational purposes, but he feels that, Anis Hafa, I mean, for educational purposes. What do you say?
Well, good morning and thank you for having me. Roland, it has become a necessity of life now. The Android, is that how they call it? Has become a necessity of life now. And when people get into senior secondary school, they are usually 15, 16 years. What is anybody taking away from them? Look, one of the major things, problems we have is acquisition of textbooks. I remember a few years ago there was a lot of trouble over the acquisition of atlases for billions of CDs, and you remember the furor it created in this country. Roland, I'm not very technologically savvy, but I know for a fact that you can load virtually every textbook. Today, every textbook that is available, there's a soft copy you can load on a device. I would rather all the textbooks we struggle to have for our students is loaded on a device.
I think my children will read that one better than
and give it out. The challenge is that they said they will do some other things on the phone. They don't have the devices, but they still read things that they don't need to read. They still smuggle books and things they don't need to do. I don't know the reason why the Ghana National Association of Teachers say it is a no. I am not privy to it, but I would humbly want to suggest that they are racing against time. I mean, it is a situation that confronts us. They call it the digital divide. Am I right? It has come upon us, and the sooner we agree that it has become the in thing, I think the better for us. Like you rightly said, in another 5 years, you said 10, in another 5 years, I don't think that this will be
a conversation
at all. People talk about, I think the challenge really is if it is in their hands, they will not pay attention and they will be doing social media. But for me, all of it must be part of the discipline. If you have an exam and instead of taking care of the exam, you want to do social media, then it means that we are not even training our children to be able to apportion their time properly. It's okay. I do social media sometimes when I wake up in the morning or
you try to surf through to see what is happening.
But for me, it is critical that we must tell children that when it is time for prep, it is not time to do social media. It is time to do your coursework. Okay. many things happen on the internet, we all agree. But
Good things also happen on the internet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All I wanted to say is, I tell you every day that everything in this life has a good side and a bad side. Life is everything is about risk. The important thing is how you manage the risk. We must teach our children to clearly understand all of these things. And I think that is what will make them better human beings.
George, what do you say to this? Allow or not to allow? For example, I would want my children to have the best of British and American education if I can afford. But for those who can afford and have their children there, I believe they allow them all the exigencies of technology. But I'm told it improves people's IQs and their innovativeness.
Good morning to your cherished listeners. And of course, it's always a pleasure to see my big brother, Honorable Jaku. And you see, I wonder why we are always maybe 25 years behind schedule in everything that we do in this country. I don't know why. And we are so entrenched that we want to be there. In fact, where others are moving, we are very happy being where we are. And this is a classical case. I mean, when I sit here, sometimes the kinds of things that you wake up in the morning, you are confronted with a certain topic. You go to Google and just type. So if it's about, you are getting a headache that you don't understand, it's about frequent headache causes. And it gives you a whole lowdown on the possible causes, possible Medicare options that you have. I mean, the world is open to you. And who says that if we are in an information age? And information is everything. And it's because we are not seeking information the way we want to. That is why they are saying that if you want to hide something from a Ghanaian or an African, put it in a book or put it in some information portal somewhere. He will never read. Whether we like it or not, our children are not going to libraries as much as they should. They love it in the comfort of their homes, in their bedrooms. So if he has a
and that's
tablet,
the reality.
Yes, the reality. And if he has a tablet that he can download books, information about school, and any other information that they need to know, why not? So I think that the teachers should go and sit back and do. Recently, there was a video going around in social media where a girl was virtually caught up with fright when the teacher asked her to go and touch a mouse. A computer mouse, I mean. Why? Because of some of these things. We need to expose our children. I don't know why we are so scared to expose our children. For me, mobile phone with my daughter in school is safer than what she watches on TV in Ghana today. The kinds of things you show, the telenovelas and all those things are more poisonous.
Is it because you feel you can control what's on the device that she's using?
No, I am saying that, you see, everything we do should orient the minds or reorient the minds of our children. We are building them for the future. Yeah. So if you go and put her down and some Indian or somebody is doing something and then she's forced to speak Tree when we know that she's not speaking Tree, and the kind of themes and things that they show, what value is it to my child or your child? And so for me, I feel sad. Me, my house, I will never step in my house where my wife and children are watching. I don't want to mention the programs because
I know.
I will drive all of you out. It doesn't make sense. Okay? But when you go on some of the stations like DSTV, you have a whole South African setting where they are teaching children maths. They are teaching them science. You know, that is what I want.
Or even they are teaching them maybe an innovation somewhere from a factory. Yeah.
They are teaching how to build castles. Those are the things that we should be talking about.
Fantastic programs on National Geography.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we are.
Yes.
And we are sitting here and we are talking about this kind of things, and we expect our children to be competitive.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, we are joking.
That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. We are joking. And I've said it over. My colleagues in the political class may not even like us. But I'm saying that this is a time for educational revolution. And therefore, me, if I were president, no member of my government would have their children in private schools. Because we need to bring these things to the doorsteps of every ordinary Ghanaian.
Even if I can afford a private
school. It doesn't matter. But if you are giving somebody food, it should be wholesome for you to eat first before you give it to somebody else. All these things that we are doing, very soon, you will find that everybody who can afford to take their children to the British schools that are springing around. That is why they are catching on.
Because there's a market.
Because there's a market. Because the other side...
It's not good.
It's not good. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
And look, the earlier we all get up and say, look, we want quality education for our children, the better for us. But not to be saying that, oh, don't give them... So the mobile phone for what?
Roland, can I find out? What is the attribution? What is the reason?
I mean, I don't get
that.
Well, not says. It said that opening the floodgate for smartphone to be used in basic school will be suicidal for the country. Even for adults, if you are discussing serious issues at a meeting, you can see some people fidgeting with their mobile phones. The mere fact that some people are doing it somewhere does not mean that we should also do it here, because we live in different cultural contexts. Homosexuality and other unacceptable acts in our society are acceptable in other jurisdictions. So if we are not careful, we'll be introducing some demonic things into our society that will hurt.
Is that what that's what they are.
Yes, it's demonic.
Please, Roland, tell the teachers that I said their only responsibility ends that when you are...
It says the prudent thing to do is for government to establish and equip more computer laboratories in schools. It's past. Now computer laboratories are in people's homes and in their palms. Our educational system...
No,
look, Roland, I mean, this is...
Did they talk about demon introducing
they don't know. They don't know. They obviously don't know what they are talking about. Look, let's get real. As a teacher, your classroom responsibility ends where you ensure that, like as we do at meetings, that, okay, for the next 2 hours when I stand here and I'm a teacher, everybody should put off their mobile phone. If they do have, you can inspect it. It's a class of 40. You can ensure that for contact periods, nobody is using a mobile phone.
Yeah. But
okay.
It happens.
Yes.
It happens.
I mean, at meetings, we all agree that everybody should put off their mobile phone. That is when you are instilling discipline. But all these are that they themselves, their children, the teachers, their children take this, smuggle these phones to school. They know. We should stop being hypocritical in this country. When we are engaged with modern technology, we should find a better way of ensuring that we maximize the good sides. Okay? And for the bad sides,
it's always there.
It's always there.
Roland, I think
it's
that
always there.
Which one is bad? That you don't have access to a technology at all?
No, the bad side means
or that you have it and that you encounter the bad side.
Because the internet is a global village, you can go and find any information, both good and bad. But I'm saying that if it starts with parents ourselves. If you tune your children's minds towards a certain direction, okay, and it's even nice every evening before your child goes to bed, as you would have done at home if she's in a boarding house, you can have a nice WhatsApp conversation with your child. Oh, pray before you. Let's pray. Let's do this. Let's do that. As we do at home.
This man, technology has taken over your mind.
No, I'm telling you. No, it's done.
That is if you're not available. If you're available, go to the room.
No, I'm saying that if you're available at home, you do it. But I'm saying that if you know that your child is in
somewhere.
Sometimes there are questions, whether you like it or not, the child can never ask the teacher. But maybe she will be confident enough to tell daddy something that is really bothering this senior.
At least in the evening.
So
that if let's say your child is in a boarding school.
Yeah, teacher, today this senior has been pestering me. He wants us to go and smoke, or he's been trying to introduce me to smoking weed, for instance. And I cannot, I'm afraid. Then you can come to the school and have a conversation with the leadership. There are information that you need your child to tell you in record time, in good time, for you to act.
In real time.
In real time, in fact.
Roland, I was very hesitant initially because like I said, I was not privy to the reasons the teachers were given. But frankly, with the greatest due respect, my mother was that's my mother, in whom I am extremely well pleased, is a teacher. But if this that you read to us is really and truly the attributions they are making for not wanting this to come, Roland, I would say that I completely beg to differ. The reality is that a lot of these things are attitudinal. And I am saying that it is imperative that we must learn we must teach our children some discipline with all of these things. Is it not a fact that today there are no mobile phones, but when some children go to school, when the teachers are teaching, the children are reading something else?
Sure.
Is it true or is not true?
Sure.
Is it true or is not true? that they smuggle books and magazines that they are not supposed to pornographic things. Is it true or is not true? There are no mobile phones, but they find hard copies and look at it. Okay, so for me, that challenge is that point is.
So your point is that we're better with the technology than without.
You know, the thing that we have become, the world has become technological, and for any reason, we must join it. Roland, let me conclude by saying that in everything we do, life is about risk and benefits. There certainly are a lot of risk with the World Wide Web. There certainly are. All of us know. But I believe that if a good cost-benefit analysis is done, the benefits of our 15 and 16-year-old children having access far outweighs the risk. I am stating that today they don't have internet, they still have pornographic materials. They read.
All right,
hard copy. So if that is what they are talking about, they still. Roland, don't we have challenge with the practice of homosexuality on our secondary school campus?
Long before.
Yeah, long before. When the internet was not there. I think that this really and truly, I think this argument is moot.
His argument is not a reflection of what our society is, really.
No, I think this argument.
But let's move on. There's a controversy that has been brewing since the last is it 24 hours, 48 hours? I don't know. The controversy has got to do with a mining concession, a bauxite mining concession granted to a company called Exton Cubic Group Limited. We're told it's owned by Ibrahim Mahama. He's a younger brother of former NDC flag bearer and president of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama. Pitching two ministers against each other, we're told, according to a report in the Daily Graphic, also captured by Major Online. The Ashanti Regional Minister, apparently, Simon Osei Mensah, is not happy that the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, John Peter Amewu, apparently is also encouraging Ibrahim to move his equipment to his mining sites for bauxite at Nyinehin for the period with which or by which he told or ordered police to stop those vehicles from making entry into the site, and subsequently they've been impounded. But we've had even the traditional authority also coming to say that they knew about the presence of the company in there. So it's as if it's pitching one side of the society against the other, governments against each other, etc. I have to start with you, Mr. Chairman Tingeja. What do you make of this incident?
Well, let me start by placing a caveat. I have no difficulty about any Ghanaian or any person who does things properly to do business here. I think that I am on a very personal note, I'm a very business-friendly person. I also believe that this current government is really and truly pro-business. We have no difficulty about Ghanaians and not just Ghanaians, but people who are properly registered or certified to do so, to do business in this country, so long as it is legal, so long as the due process is followed. Okay. But before the so-called clashes, I want to go back to some basics, and I stand for correction. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a lawmaker. I'm not a lawyer. My understanding is that for all these mining leases, a condition precedent is parliamentary approval. I have seen all the petroleum agreements, is that how you call them? When the blocks are given, all of them come to Parliament for approval. I want to believe that the mining leases for the other solid minerals also come through the same. I want to believe so. I stand to be corrected. So my earnest expectation is that if a lease has been given I think it's a 20-year lease for 58% of the bauxite deposit. I think that there's about 700 million tons of bauxite in Nyinahini. If 58% of it has been given out to whoever, my earnest expectation is that a due process will be carried out, and it is not just about he being given a paper from the Minerals Commission. My expectation is that this matter should come to Parliament for some approval. I was in the 6th Parliament. I don't remember citing anything like this. I am in the 7th Parliament. Of course, they said that this lease was signed on the 29th of December 2016. I stand for correction. I think that what might be useful is for this to be brought to Parliament and let Parliament ratify or otherwise. Otherwise, like I premised my discussion, if a due process has not been followed, then anybody who does anything outside of that due process is breaking the law. That is my carefully considered opinion. Again, the lawyers might say it is not so, but until and unless it is proven that that is not the trajectory, my expectation is that this matter should come to Parliament and let Parliament decide on it. That the government of Ghana will grant 58% of our.
Is it the bauxite deposit at Nyinahini?
Of our bauxite deposit at Nyinahini.
Okay.
58% of it.
The one.
It is the single largest deposit we have now
in Ghana.
Yeah, about 700 million
cubic
tons.
Tons. Okay.
Yeah. Subsequently, I have heard, number one, the chiefs complain that they are not aware of anything. They are the custodians of it. I am surprised.
Really, but we've had the chief of Nyinahini, I beg your pardon, Nana Amampene, the second.
Say that he's aware.
Clashing with the DC of Ikrimampunya.
Over what?
Over Exxon's president. He said that he has sternly cautioned Mr. against the seizure of the equipment belonging to the company. He said it will create confusion. According to the chief, he and his elders are aware of the mission of the company in the Tanwa Fing Forest Reserve at Nyinahini.
I see, but didn't you hear that some chiefs were also complaining that they were not aware of this thing?
Well, we've heard a lot of things. I've heard that one too, but I'm reading this one too.
So, particularly, I think that this places this discussion in a very good context. With all of this confusion, why don't we step back and clarify everything? I have stated clearly that I have no difficulty about anybody doing any business in this country, to the extent that they have followed the process. To that extent. To the extent that they have followed the process. Like you're reading now, I hear the chief of Nyinahini says he knows. Some other chiefs are saying they don't know.
Some other
who really and truly, where are they going? Okay, the local people know that, and I think that the regional minister deserves to know, particularly in the light of facts that today government is waging war against Galamsey. I think that.
But this is not Galamsey.
I didn't say so.
This is large scale mining.
I didn't say so.
And bauxite, bauxite mining has not been experiencing Galamsey.
But let's.
I'm saying bauxite mining.
You
has
talk
not been
about large scale mining. The same bulldozers and things they are using for large scale mining. It's the same thing they are using for Galamsey. Okay. I am not making any attributions, but to say that they have excavators and things like this, so they are not doing Galamsey begs the question. The point I am making.
The concession is for bauxite mining.
The point I am making is
for large scale mining.
I think that there's too much confusion.
And we've not experienced small scale mining in bauxite mining.
I think the point, my final point is that I think that there's too much confusion over this matter. I think we should step back. You know, in the Bible, in the Psalms, it talks about Selah. pause back and reflect. Let's just pause and reflect. But I maintain that if this is going to happen, a due process must be followed.
George.
Yeah. Just let me find out. Please find out for me the company that is going to do this. In their objects, are they permitted to do?
Well, according
mining?
to a report by majoronline.com, it says that currently, if you do investigations at the Registrar General's Department, one of their objects is not mining. But the company also said that in 2004, they went to revisit that subject. They added mining to the objects.
Okay.
Asked why it's not reflecting in the data. The
I'm sure that if they really,
company said,
if
well,
really and truly in 2004 they did
but
it,
they
must have some documentation to that effect. But I am saying that it just occurred to me that if tomorrow I want to do some business, my company must the objects of the company
as
must
per the
reflect,
registration,
yes, must reflect
certification in our country.
Yeah, so it's just something that occurred to me.
Well, yeah, let me start from where he ended. Yes, it's true that the object must determine or point to what kind of businesses you want to do. But it's a very simple process if you want to amend your objects. You file the requisite form. Let's also be agreed, if they done it in 2004, let's also agree that Registrar General at that time was a bit, they have had issues with...
The digitization hadn't started.
Yeah, issues with it. So maybe like you are saying, if we did... maybe they just filed a general search, and maybe this is what they have. But if a diligent search is done, maybe they would do indeed fine. But let me also put on record that now the world is moving away from that. International best practices. You don't need to do that. But
I mean, you didn't need to state.
Yes, in fact, the new company code, the new company act that we are working on. I worked on it till the very last minute. That has been presented. That will be presented to Parliament
for amendment.
For amendment, you don't need to do that. You can just change your business once your board decides that we want to enter into.
So I don't need to go and notify.
No, that is the new.
But it's not the law now.
It's not the law now.
We're talking old.
Yes, I'm saying that.
We're talking the current.
Yes.
We are talking about
today. You will need to
23rd,
do. Yes, you will need
23rd August.
Yes, you will need to.
23rd August.
Yeah, but
current best practice.
But what is happening now, the trend, which we intend to follow as a country, to the best of my knowledge, is that you don't need to. So that just clarifies that point. So he's right when he says that a diligent search should be done. But Roland, you see, this should not be an issue at all.
Why not?
Because
I'm in my town. I'm in a region.
Roland,
as a minister, I see some trucks in a certain municipality. I should be worried. Or district.
Roland, you see, let's be very careful. One, what does the law say? The law says the only reason why it is not the chief or the district assembly or the minister who gave the permits, the requisite permit. And this permit process, people must understand, started in 2013. I can give you a schedule of activities all the way to 2017. Okay? Yeah. Schedule of activities. They've gone through several layers of this, that. They've gone through a plethora of activities leading to this. Now, when that has happened, let's also understand that the minerals you have underground belongs to the government. Okay? And for the local authorities, you get royalties when they mine. Okay? And then the ministry has supervisory role. The Lands Commission have their role, and every other agency that is related to mining has their role. Now, my brother talks about parliamentary approval. I don't know, but I don't want to, because I like to cross-check my facts. But if it's a wholly owned Ghanaian company, I don't know if he needs parliamentary approval. I don't know. I don't think so. But I may be wrong. But having said all that, Roland, will we be talking about this today to this extent if possibly Ibrahim Mahama was not party to it?
Why not?
Because this issue of bauxite has been trending long before now.
I don't get you.
I am saying to you that it has been in the public domain that, the president's brother has had this concession. You remember when we went to China and we did the so-called leveraging?
The 400
and the idea was that we're giving Chinese so much for so much. And then people said, they've already given more than half of their bauxite.
The 19 billion.
Yes, and all that.
From 14, 15 to 19.
So politics are taking center stage already, even before these issues are coming. So now you can't even tell whether the issues that are panning out are real issues or that they are being tainted by political activity. Other than that, why should two ministers of the sitting government be quarreling over this matter? The man who has been put in charge of minerals says, I'm aware, all is clear, allow them to work. My good brother, a senior brother, who I respect so much, the Ashanti Regional Minister, says, no, I don't agree, I don't know about it. In the actual fact, he confesses to a verbal communication between Peter Amewu and himself, saying that giving the all clear, but he wants a written documentation. I mean, for their records, it's nice to always have, so that tomorrow when something happens, you can make reference. Or when somebody takes over, he can make reference. So I don't doubt, I won't fight him for wanting, but if you take your friend's word for it, or your colleague minister's word for it, after all, it is not even Exxon company that is going to be. They've subletted part of the activities to engineers and planners. And they are just going to make the preparatory clearing and things like that before even major activities will start. So if you have any problem, once you are sure that, or you know that they have all the requisite permits, allow them to do their work. Even if anything, you don't have to seize engineers and planners' equipment, because the nature of their business is hiring of equipment and things like that. If you do what you have done and they decide to go to court to seek redress, because there are third parties who have
been hire and operate.
Yeah.
Operate the equipment.
So at the close of the day, I think that we are getting ourselves into places that we shouldn't. As a government, and I agree with Honorable Jaco, I am also pro business. I would rather have a Ghanaian own resources and ensure that he does good work and does proper mining using due process than to have any other person from somewhere to come and take over. Because record shows that all the other national companies and things that have come to take over, what have we gotten out of them? What have we gotten out of them?
You are saying the money will stay in Ghana?
At least the money will stay in Ghana. And it may be used to invest in other areas where many more people will.
It's not necessarily a moral issue, is it?
I'm not talking about morality. I'm also talking
about doing what is right.
No, I'm talking about, but again, from where I sit, nobody has said anything wrong has been done. The only thing that is being said is that I did not know. Tell me what they said that has been done wrongly.
Nobody has accused anybody of doing wrong. People say that satisfy the curiosity.
But why should business be about satisfying curiosity? My brother is a pharmacist, right? So if you want to operate this business, you should satisfy the curiosity of all the people around Joy FM before you
when the factors of the environment require.
What is factors of environment? Have they been...
We've had a change of government.
I am saying
it's
that...
Peculiar.
Please,
is it not peculiar?
The government itself, represented by the Minister of Minerals, Mining, Natural Resources, Land and Natural Resources, has said that I'm cool with what is happening. In actual fact, St. John has said that they are aware that mining forestry commission says, so he knows that the rescue permits have been given. So where are we going? I think that one of the things we should learn to do as quickly as possible as we move on is to depoliticize.
You think this is being drowned in politics?
Of course, purely.
It's all because of the personality of Ibrahim Mahama.
Give me any other reason. That is what I see.
I don't know.
I think that it's unfair. We should, rather than trying to frustrate our local businesses, I believe that we should rather encourage them where they are even going wrong. Right? You let them, as it were, correct their wrongs and move on. After all, they are Ghanaian.
I'm very familiar with this narrative because of where I work.
I appreciate what he's saying, that this would not have been a matter at all.
Yes, true. And it looks
Probably,
like it looks like it.
But probably,
If it was belonging to, let's say, a Roland Walker, I'm sure.
but probably because of the
I'm sure would have been better received.
Yeah.
But probably because of the personalities involved. On the flip side of the coin, I will also want to ask, with the greatest due respect, and not intending to be very personal, but maybe we should also be asking, maybe if he was not the brother of President Mahama, would he have gotten 58% of the
see,
maybe? I am asking, it's a rhetorical question.
Well, you never know.
I agree.
We have a number of companies that have oil blocks, etc.
If he was not the brother of President Mahama,
they don't have
would he have gotten 58% of the 700 million tons?
You see,
could be possible.
No, I agree. I agree with you in principle.
Yeah.
But where I also depart from you is that if we want to continue to use that, then we are saying that we are ousting people from partaking.
Which people?
No, I am not saying that.
You know, for instance, one of the biggest problems that we had in the Volta region was that President Kufuor's brother then had timber concession, timber licenses, and were mining all.
Which of his brothers?
What was his name? If I remember, I'll tell you. You know, in the Volta, it was a big issue. You arrest people, and they say, oh, they show you permit. This belongs to this man. It went on and on and on. But sometimes you ask yourself, so because he's President Kufuor's brother, let's assume that Honorable Ejaku is a pharmacist, and because he is the president.
Well, brother, if you raise it as a concern, then why is it not going to be a concern?
I am saying that it was an issue.
Yeah. So
even appointment of people's brothers in government, right, was an issue. I am saying that must we always look at it from that perspective?
Well, George,
but your question,
George, you raised it.
Yes, I am saying
you raised it. You are the one who said that it is problematic because the former president's brother is. I am saying that.
I am saying
on the flip side.
No, I am also saying that.
Can we, as Ghanaians, also begin to interrogate? How come on the 29th of December 2016, a final list was signed off to the brother of the president?
But why should it be an issue?
But I'm saying that all the activities commenced in 2013, and I can give you there were 40 activities.
When his brother was president.
Listen,
so we can still interrogate
for about 40-something activities that took from 2013. It was only in 2017. So what it means is that they made sure he went through due process. And in actual fact, I think that because he's the president's brother, maybe the scrutiny that was used was even much higher than if it were me and you, so that these kind of questions will become moot. But you see, Honorable Ejak, I worry for this country when business people, we use personalities. I would want us to even attack the business and the nature of business, but not the individuals. I mean, look at this towing thing that we had. Yes, there were very cogent arguments.
I'm an interested party. So
No. Very cogent in there, but when all you hear is that because this man, why should he be the one getting the business? Then I begin to chicken out. Because when I identify with someone that, efficiency, value for money, let's make sure that the proper thing is done. Let's even decentralize.
That argument is not coming up.
I agree with you on all of those points, George. I completely agree with you.
Let's not politicize.
But let us also, for all of us that are politicians, we must be very careful with what we do with ourselves and our families.
Yeah, of course.
For all of us that are politicians, we must be extremely careful.
Are your friends also doing business because your brother is the Minister of Energy?
Me?
I'm asking.
Well, you can find out. Okay. The point I am making is...
Maybe you are smart about it.
Today, like you rightly said, this may not have been... If it was a KXY company that was doing it.
Nobody was speaking about it.
But the good people of this country have a right to ask, how come the president's brother? How come?
Why not him?
Why? Of course, I know him. Very, very hardworking young man.
I'm saying, why not him?
Why him?
Why not him?
Why him?
Why not him?
Why him?
Why not him?
No, you see, for instance, he's
been doing this. I'm told he's been doing this before.
Yeah, but he's always worked in the mining industry. His core business when you started with was mining, supporting mining companies with equipment, and so he's been operating.
He has a lot of experience.
Yes, but even as we speak, for instance, here is a man who is putting up one of the biggest cement factories in the country. Very soon he will start operation. Well, the accusations are if not because he was the president's brother. I am saying that why does the president do cement? or the president. No. He spent his own money to set up a factory. And look, he's doing it. You employ my brother, you employ your brother, you employ your cousin. Does that take away anything from Ghana?
I thought you said his brother. His brother is already employed.
No. So. He has many brothers who are Ghana. When we say your brother,
very many of them.
So don't worry about that.
A lot of them are looking for something to do.
Yeah, so don't worry. We should get there, but we should sanitize. Once there is, for me, the problem I have is where there is clear conflict of interest. If there is no clear-cut conflict of interest, I think it's good for anybody to do business.
Okay, so let's move on. I wanted to ask this question though. So because
but Roland, we agree. Roland, we agree that just as he's saying that
let's move on.
It shouldn't be a matter for discussion. I think that the good people of this country also need to know a few things.
To know whether it went through due process.
For me, that's so we'll discuss this soon. But I wanted to ask one question. So because Ibrahim Mahama, who had been operating in the mining industry before then his brother became president, will he ever be given the all clear to operate in that industry without any scrutiny? Is there a possibility like that? That he could be operating hence in the mining industry and then there could be no scrutiny?
Oh, why not? I mean,
because because one day your company could be in there and one day somebody will raise a concern.
All I'm saying is that to the extent that due process is followed, to the extent, I don't know how come he got that concession. Was it on tender?
We applied for it.
I don't know.
Yeah, for money you apply.
These are questions.
Lingering questions.
Yeah, these are questions. These are questions that must be answered. You understand? These are important questions that must be answered. I can't sit here and I
think tender is the open for Donkomi, right?
I will not.
I mean, literally.
Yeah.
But I think that in the minerals sector, they don't. The extractive sector.
Government can decide that this land,
Donkomi,
people should come and bid.
Okay, but usually in our country we don't.
When you also go and identify land and you want to go into anything, you can apply. That they have done something.
Okay, let's move on. The Board of Trustees of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust (NIT) has begun investigation into how we're told former management acquired a software system for $66 million. But among other things, also are investigations into a whole audit into operations of 5 other management members of the company or individuals.
What he said is already five management members are at Yoko, but I think they are auditing everything that happened until the 31st of March.
What really happened at SNET? Anybody has a clue as to, because now following that press conference by Kwame Adokofo, it seemed to have revealed that a lot of malfeasance seem to have been undertaken, especially during the NDC period.
Well, I think it might be wrong to go ahead of myself. They said that they bought a software for 66 million. Let the audit take place and let the audit determine whether it was fair, it was value for money. If SNIT needs, if SNIT, a huge organization like SNIT needs a software to be able to do its work well, I dare say that SNIT is not doing its work well. I dare say. But if that is what they needed to do their work well, and they can establish value for money, I don't have a problem. If I state without equivocation that if it can be established that on a good international competitive bid, you should buy this for 66 million, so be it. But if it is anything else, then I will have a problem.
$66 million.
$66 million.
For the BOS software.
If it is at a good international competitive bid, it is established that that is what it is. I mean, software is not, it doesn't come cheap.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that we must establish that it was good value for money. You understand? But having said this, I think that we have not treated ourselves well as a country, particularly with SNIT. What we need to do, what I really and truly want to find out is that today, if people's pensions are due, are they solvent to be able to pay? Have they, over the last 8 years, 20 years, have they taken good investment? Have they made good investment decisions? They take money from all of us, with the expectation that when I am 60 and I retire, I should take a pension. If all of us, our pensions crystallize, are they solvent to pay? The investments they have made over the last period of were they the best investment decisions? I am told, and I believe same to be true, that government owns them over 800 million in unpaid.
The government of Ghana.
The government of Ghana. How come these things happen?
But that's a sum assured. It will be paid.
Well, you see, it is not only they take our money to invest so that tomorrow when I and him, we are 60 years and we are on pension. But if government owes and you are not paying and they are not investing, how do I get paid when I'm 60 years? Even my sister Yabedu, she does
some contribution.
Informal, yeah.
The informal.
Yeah.
Lagos Avenue.
Yes.
The plantain roast.
Yes.
Oh, how?
So
that's what is being encouraged.
So
no, it's being encouraged, but I'm not sure Yabedu.
Yabedu does. I've encouraged her to do it. Okay. But Yabedu is roasting plantain and paying a contribution.
Isn't it that same lady whose son will be going into
this year
to enjoy free SHS? Free
SHS.
Wow. Nanado is working.
Ghana is working again.
Okay.
Okay, so for me, really, let the audits happen. Let us see. For me, what is important is that we should be able to establish that when I was given a position of trust, what I did, to all intents and purposes, human beings are not angels. I'm not sitting here and pretending that human beings are angels. But what we must establish that what was done was fair, was open, was transparent. It represented good value for money for the good people of this country.
I have no. In actual fact, I listened to the new DG, the other General of Senate, this morning. He sought to say two things. He sought to say that they brought in PricewaterhouseCoopers to do a baseline investigation. It's not like a baseline audit.
Baseline audit.
Let's say.
Okay.
So it is not even a forensic audit, just baseline audit. They want to, as the Director General and a new team that has come, they want to know what has transpired over time. It's very legitimate, and I think that it should be done. One of the things we should always know when we talk about Senate, we talk about all these other places, is that we pay professionals to do work. They may not necessarily be the DG and the deputies, but they may be the directors in charge of various sectors who take decisions. And I have been unhappy also with the way Senate has been run over the last 10 years or 20. I used to be a cleaner in Senate, so I know.
Are you?
Yeah. I used to be a cleaner in Senate, so I know.
You mean your business?
I used to be a cleaner. Me myself, I used to clean.
You mean your business was cleaning?
No, yeah, I was working for a company that cleaned, and I used to clean people's offices. Okay. They can testify.
You used to work for a cleaning company
which
that was subcontracted.
Yes, to clean.
It was not your business.
No.
Okay.
So I mean, I've come a long way. Point is this: your sister Yabedu. It is not the fact that she contributes and that the fact that when her time is due, they will be solvent enough to pay a loan that should concern us. How much will she be paid? Are we happy with the levels of pensions today? If you went on retirement tomorrow, how much will you get a month? Would that survive you? And that is the more reason.
I may get about 800.
You see, and that is why we are saying that Senate should have invested in such a way that the returns will be good enough for them to pay you 5,000 cedis for pension.
I wish.
No, that is what it is. But are they doing that? They are not. Sitting at Public Accounts Committee, when they come, we are not happy with the way they've done their investment. In fact, there are investments that have gone bad that they have not even taken steps to recoup. There are companies like Bridal Trust and others that in fact, Universal Merchant Bank, they had investments in all those places. Investment that they cannot be proud of in contemporary times. And they are investing in many more areas.
Senate has shares in
Yes, they used to, I mean,
They did.
yeah, they did.
They used to have a merchant
They
bank.
shot it up
Hugely.
And I'm sure that there are other banks where Senate has investments as we speak. We must.
So point of order.
Yeah.
So when it was quote unquote sold, did Senate recoup their investment?
That is what I would have to find out. I mean, so there are many other things that Senate is. The Senate was giving loans even to district assemblies. Today, the district assembly in one of the voter reading places, they've had their common fund collateralized to the extent that it's being paid as refund for loans they've taken that has gone back. So the district is not developing. Why should Senate be giving these assembly loans? Why should Senate in the first place be giving government loans? If a government owes Senate 800, as you are talking about, and for government owing Senate, it's a long practice that we have been doing, maybe probably for the past 20 years or so. But I'm saying that the quantums that we are owing, why would they be able to pay your baby maybe 1,500 when she goes on retirement to live comfortably, take care of rent, take care of healthcare and things like that? We must all show an interest in Senate, because all of us, once you are working in Ghana, your life one way or the other is tied to Senate. So I have no problem at all if we want to establish. As for the software, I share my brother's concerns. 66 million cedis for those of us dollars for those of us who are outside. We haven't seen that kind of money before.
Especially those of you who know at least a little knowledge about software.
Well, what it is that I am saying that.
66 million.
Let's see.
Why is it from Facebook?
Well, we don't know about that. Let's see how.
Mark Zuckerberg developed the software.
I don't know. Let's see what happened. Let's see how, because I hear it comes with all sorts of consultancy.
No, I'm asking.
No, wait.
Was it developed by Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg?
I don't work at Senate, so I don't know. But they are saying that it comes with several other services. I don't know. Let them go and investigate.
Right.
If it's value for money,
my time is up.
If it's not, let's go out there.
My time is up.
And
all right,
take the
so
necessary remedial
I've had in the studio Emmanuel Chamantinge Jakwanyawaso West Wagon Constituency Member of Parliament and a former Member of Parliament for North Dying is also here or has been here, and George Lowe is his name.